Game time, baby. This is your watch list coming in on July 11th. I excuse the echo. I am literally, we just closed on this. I had to get here and it's gonna be echoey. It's empty. I got the internet. I'm not even gonna stream. It's a big situation, but we need to get into this. Tell me what you guys think about this view, again, of the screen here. But let's get to the watch list so you guys can see it. So there was a lot that happened. If you guys didn't see the stream today, it was very exciting. We had day one of the Powell testimony. We're gonna have it again tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. And we also got the Fed minutes, and you saw moves during the Powell speech yesterday, but then, or again today, but then what happened here is as the market was kind of chilling out, it was a long presentation or speech, whatever you want to call it, well, testimony. And then when the minutes came out, that's where the market reacted. And now there's a lot to discuss. There was some individual play moves. I want to talk about the stocks that we're going to watch tomorrow, but I want to go over the main points we need to discuss with Powell and everything else going on. So I got your keys for tomorrow. I got some option plays. I want to go over the plays that I made today, and that's what we're going to really kind of focus on here as well too. But before we get into that, you guys know what you got to do. Post your watch list below. We want to source information. You guys were posting plays even during the Powell thing, and a lot of people were giving their opinions more or less. So I encourage you guys, please be respectful tomorrow. Try to take what you can from this. This is honestly a great time. The SPX hit 3,000 for the first time ever. So this is history in the making. I'm glad you guys I'm able to share this with you. So hopefully we're ready to see what happens tomorrow and kind of where we go from here. So if you like this stream, you like this video, make sure you guys are live 30 minutes before open. It's right there in the comments. Go down below there, youtube.com/thestockmarket. But drop your thumbs up on the video so you get recommended more, and if you like this video in general. But let's get into the keys for tomorrow. The biggest thing I want to look at is digestion. So digestion is going to be today's food as well as yesterday's, because a lot of moves even the last few days were happening, you know, based on a few different things. And again, either people were waiting for Powell or we were waiting for those events. We were seeing what was happening with oil and all this other political stuff. But now we finally got word from Powell, and the market at times, honestly, today the market was dropping even before he started really even saying anything, and it was moving on its own speed and breadth. And that's one thing to really pay attention there towards, because the market could do what it wants. And then again, the key was volume. This morning, it was very good in the morning. It looks kind of more active there at the end, but overall on the day, we closed just about average volume. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to close at 40 million, but it hit like 58. So 60 million has been kind of an average number typically, but you see, compared from the last days, that's saying above average because we've had such low volume days. But you saw activity pick up, and we saw them even pick up when the minutes came. And now this is where everything gets good, because the market took what Powell said as a guaranteed rate cut. Every single site, CNBC, and this is where I don't know if I'm being totally contrarian, if I'm biased, or if I'm stupid, who knows. Everybody somehow took this speech as him saying he's gonna cut it. He said they've saw from their connects or the contacts they have in agriculture and business, they said they're expecting a slowdown, and that the trade pressures and everything else was actually affecting them. But it just seems like that piece of information was new. But when he said he's going to do everything in his power, this and that, he's already been saying that already. And that's where I think I'm very confused, because it seems to me, and I know the rest of the market did not take this the same way. It seems like the same exact stuff he's been saying before. So I don't really know why the market is taking that way. And then again, you look at the bonds and everything else, the market agrees. And you did see a weird movement today between the 2-year and the 10-year, where the short-term interest rates were dropping, but the longer-term 10 and 30 went up. And now that was actually one of the biggest moves in a few decades, or as the widening in the spreads between the 2-year and the 10-year today. But again, overall, I disagree. And really my play is this. We explain this a lot, and I'll probably make another video here when I have the better mic and we're more set up here. But it's kind of the play here where I think Trump wants the rate cut, and I think there has to be more bad news before he could guarantee that by the next 2 weeks. So I'm waiting for him to kind of confirm the rate cut, where now I think the market could be wrong. And again, that's surprising, because like I've even showed you, for the last 40 years, the Fed has responded to what the bond market and those futures have been pricing as long as it's over that 60% mark. There's a reason why it's for the last 40 years though, because it's not always like that, but then there is also the age of since record keeping and all that. But at the end of the day, it could be a shocker. And I think though, if the market is confirmed that we're getting a cut, I think a lot of people are expecting, I think Trump's going to come out with negative news that could cause the market to come down, and then that would give Powell a real reason to actually cut, and in line what he's been saying. But so I'm expecting him to mess that trade deal up, but until then, I think the market's going to melt up and then kind of go sideways till then. And that is if Trump doesn't, come in here to sabotage the deal to get his rate cut. And again, I'm saying he could ink a trade deal right after he gets the rate cut. It'll look good for re-election, the stock market, this and that. So there's that aspect. Let's get into the plays for tomorrow. Right off the bat, FedEx and UPS, and I don't have UPS on there, but then IYT again, because despite today hitting all-time highs, this is what we brought up in the watch list yesterday. You can see here, it's still slipping again. So watch that in the individual components. I think Delta was after hours as well too, or I think they're going to be pre-market. But again, you're going to start seeing those transport companies start to report. But if they do good, that could help it. Again, anytime FedEx and UPS have done good, it's kind of slowed that move with the transports. But watch those, because if that develops and gets worse, that is going to be very, very important. Next one to watch is Disney, and we made a play on this one today. We got it at close, and I have a butterfly. If you remember Monday, I did a put and a call on both sides, or I did a vertical call spread and a vertical put spread, and today it started moving. It hit all-time highs, 52-week highs, and again, all-time highs edging up towards here. So I figured I wanted to get more shorter-term weighting to the call side, again, for 48 bucks. That would allow me to take more advantage of any of these moves, and if it did get a little volatile and crazy, and again, those options did come down a little bit. So we actually ended up paying a little bit higher because they moved up on the volatility of that. But I think if the market is going to do good in anything, and again, and Disney has even operated at an inverse at times, I think this could be a really good one. So I like that. The next company, HD, and I guess it was already up there too. We'll look over these options. We bought this option. I think it went up 50% since then. I like the HD weekly because, again, as a value stock, and if it moves around anywhere from there and what it does, again, relative to how the market's moving, I think that's going to be a good play. But watch that in conjunction with Walmart and all those other ones. But also keep a mind out for Lowe's too, and see any home builder real estate stocks. But in general, it did good. Again, it's gonna ultimately, it will catch up with the market if the market does good. It's had a really good run, so it kind of makes sense it went down, but it did recover decently. But if it does what McDonald's does and hold below that 210, it could start to get really good. So that's why I like it at those levels here. And that's why, I said it yesterday on the watch list. I've put these plays and I said, hey, if it comes down to this price, I could consider getting it. All right, I had to readjust, but watch Home Depot. I think that one's going to be really, really important. I like that. And then today, Overstock. I'm not a big fan of this, but the interesting news, there was rumor and buyout takeovers, a rumor of a takeover, but this time, what's making this different, because this has been talked about a lot with Overstock, is that Costco, someone brought up Costco and where the rumor originated from. It was an analyst who's been covering it, but these rumors of them getting bought out has been brought up a lot. But I know a lot of you guys are interested in that and how it's played with Bitcoin. But again, the rumor talks have gone on so much. We've seen a lot of buyouts. I'd keep my eye out for it. And if there is, I want to get it on a cheaper play, but I just really don't like Overstock for some reason. Next, Amazon. This is going to be very important to watch, as anything above even 2020. I don't know if this is a new high for it. Yeah, it's actually, again, this is way past the $1 trillion mark. This is starting to ramp up even until earnings, and from the bottom, man, that's why, thankfully we're getting killed on that premium play, but it's capped. But now this is still a big move, and if it does start to gas and we start to see, the market really rotate into Amazon, and they're expecting, a good day with Prime Day and even the earnings, it could be good. So I want to see as we come into the end of the week, I may look for shorter term contracts. Again, if we could get any of these bigger moves, it's moving $30, $40 a day, which is great. So watch Amazon. I like that one. Next is Nvidia, and we bought this play this morning and I liked it. It went up 100% right when we bought it, and then now I think it's down to like 20 cents, but we bought a 165 again on the weekly. But watch it, and again, someone even asking today, like, oh, should I sell AMD and buy Nvidia? Really, AMD and Nvidia are most likely going to do the same thing, even though AMD does look a little bit stronger here. But again, a lot of these companies towards all-time highs, it makes sense where the SPY is. there's a lot of bullish resistance and support levels that could make some big moves. So watch out for both of those. I like them, but those are the plays as far as that goes. And then next is beyond. This could start coming into play. It hasn't gone up too much, but it's edging up slightly, little by little. And again, like we brought up yesterday, watch the IPOs and watch those companies as they rotate. And even on that note, it reminds me of Shopify, which gave up a lot today. And depending on how it goes these next few days, it's not too much, but comparing it from its close yesterday and kind of just the momentum dropping off. But if that starts to pick up maybe towards later in the week, we'll see what happens. And then lastly, watch the banks, watch Wells Fargo and watch XLF again as they relate to the minutes. And again, what I saw from the minutes today that kind of confirmed that the Fed is going to be hawkish. They even talked about, you know, what they voted on, and everybody but I'm blanking on his name, but that one guy, everybody in the Fed voted against cutting the rates and said it wasn't really warranted, except for that guy who was advocating for it. So I think it's pretty interesting to see how that's going to play out, but banks will have initially the big effect, but even transports too. And there is stuff with oil. We did hear threaten of more sanctions today from Trump. That kind of slipped in there with everything else. So I think that's overall going to be important. I like it. And again, overall, the SPY and the S&P volume is one to watch. But now let's quickly get into the option plays. I like the GLDs or any of the gold plays. Go to August and September. Same thing even with TLT, but I like the fact that some of them, I want to see if there's, you know, a lot of people have done different type of spreads. They went up a lot today, but wait for that volatility crush. Or if you start to see those going up, that could be good. But essentially, you can see there it's 50 cents in the money. So any of the big moves that open could bring it down, with it being a Thursday tomorrow and even coming into Friday. But if it holds up, that could be really good, and I like it. And I'm pretty much going to leave it there. I got a lot of work to do here. I still got to get back, do a bunch of other stuff. So still going to get you guys a video. I love you all. Post your watch list and get ready for the stream tomorrow.